Hey guys, what's going on? Today we're going to do a little bit of work on the Can-Am, and we're also going to do some work on the 250R. We're going to work on the roof for the Can-Am, and then we're going to do a little bit of welding on the 250R. A little bit of an unsuspected problem that I just ran into with the frame, but we're going to take care of it today. Alright guys, we got a nice bright day. It's a little bit late in the afternoon to get started here. So for you guys following the Can-Am, we took the roof off last time. I have it right here. And I was going to replace it with an aftermarket roof, and I went to looking at them, and they're pretty expensive for a hard roof. Like a nice one is like $300-400. You can get a soft one for, I think there's a Tusk one for $60. I don't really want to have a soft one though. I think the hard roof will be really nice. Really, the main reason I want to put it on there is because it looks nice more than anything. It's not like it keeps out rain or anything, but I guess it does make some shade. So I was thinking, this material is pretty hardcore. It's some kind of plastic. Let's see if we can focus here. And the whole sheet itself probably weighs like 40 pounds. It's pretty heavy, and it seems to be some kind of solid plastic. It's definitely heavy duty, so that'd probably be a pretty expensive piece. You can see the guy before like did a real hack job, just like chopping it. So I'm gonna throw it back up there, bolt it down, and we'll trim it really nice so that it fits. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do it. There's a little bit of a bend in the roof. You can see it on this side too, right here. So if we laid it flat, it would kind of be sticking up in the back. So I'm not sure how I'm going to address that, if I want to just bolt it down and make it bend. I'm not sure. I'll throw it up there and then we'll take a further look at it. So I wanted to show you these clamps. These are what was holding down the roof before, and these are actually pretty nice. They're aluminum, and I don't know if these are Can-Am or not, or some kind of aftermarket, but these are nice solid clamps. So I figure between these clamps, that plastic roof, and a little bit of bed liner, we'll be able to make a pretty decent roof, and it should be pretty strong too. Now, as far as the 250R, you can see the frame is still just sitting here waiting to be powder coated. Unfortunately, with the virus, we just can't do anything, but there is a positive side. So I did get a pin style seat latch. If you guys aren't familiar with these, it's a different way of latching down your rear seat in plastics. It's really notorious that the stock setup is just a pain in the ass and they break. So these pin styles are supposed to be a little bit more heavy duty, and essentially you're supposed to put this in here. This bolts up to the bottom of your plastics and seat, and it slides in here. However, it's not going to work because we have obstructions. So I bought this, I got this used actually from the R shop, but right on it's an LSR, and on LSR's website it says that it's for factory frames. It didn't really specify if it needed any modifications or anything, but clearly it does. So I'll give you a good idea of what I'm going to do here. I've got this piece of steel tubing. It's pretty thick, and it is just about the right size to slip over that center peg. And what I'll do, our pin goes through this hole right here. I will drill a hole in this as well, so the pin will go right through this, through the seat latch, and it'll be nice and solid. So what I'm planning to do is cut this pipe down so that it'll fit. Once I remove this area, this will fit right up in here, and then I can weld it in place, and it should be solid. Now, there are other seat latches that you can buy that don't utilize that third pin in the middle, so you don't have to make this modification, but most of them are aluminum, and they use 2 different pins, whereas this is only 1 pin. The LSR, like mine, the steel one, is supposed to be a little bit more solid, and that's why I chose it. All right, well, I have this mounted up. The bolts are kind of just snug by hand, and what I want to do is get 2 more of these clamps. I found them on Amazon just now. It's 12 bucks on Amazon Prime for 2 of them. So it doesn't really make sense to make anything custom. And this roof flexes pretty easily. I'll show you. So what I want to do, I was originally thinking of just kind of cutting it here and letting the back portion float. I apologize, guys. I don't know why this phone isn't focusing. I'm gonna have to play with the settings. But what I want to do is put maybe a clamp back here to hold it like that. Either that, or I could put it back here. But regardless, I'm gonna cut the roof the same way that I would. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark it up and pull it off. And maybe I can cut this thing tonight. It is starting to get dark. Probably in like 30 minutes or so, it's gonna be too dark to be working outside. But that's my plan. So I ordered those pieces. So I'll mark this thing and we'll cut it probably short in the front. And I'm gonna contour the back to go with these pipes. And we'll see what it looks like. All right, guys, check it. I got this thing on the operating table. There she is. I have all the lines and everything very rudimentally marked. So I'm gonna make the lines a little bit clear. And then I'm gonna take a circular saw. We're gonna cut this thing out. Alright, so you can get a much better idea now. This is the back, and up front I decided to put these little angles here because there's an extra hole right here that was already in the plastic, and I was going to possibly just drill a hole on this side to make it match, which is actually what we're doing with one of the holes in the back. But I thought it might look kind of trick with an angle on both sides, so I decided to take that route. And then for this hole, which is an extra, I just went to the other side and marked exactly where it is on this side, so we will drill it there to match. This thing's gonna look tits. Do a little practice line right here first. Wow, that was a little bit messier than I thought it'd be. Whew. I think we got a pretty nice straight line here. I think we're ready to go, man. We'll be cleaning all this stuff up too, probably with a DA, just to make it extra smooth. But that's definitely, that looks good for me. I think we're ready to move on to the actual lines. Oh yeah, it's actually starting to look like something now. So you can see the edges came out nice. There's some imperfections. I'm gonna go over this thing with a DA, round the edges out, and I'm also gonna countersink these holes so we can put some flat top screws on there. It'll be nice for the roof. Just wanted to show you guys, this is the pile of dust. That's not even everything. It was crazy. I definitely should have had a face mask on the entire time. I actually stopped filming at one point and put one on. But yeah, I got the doors open, kind of getting some fresh air in here. It was toxic. Alright, so we're up on the operating table, and this is what we need to remove so that we can make room for this pipe to go in there. So I think what I'm going to do is just start drilling out from this nut, and hopefully we'll get a nice little semicircle there. And when we have enough room, we'll put this in there, and then we'll measure exactly how long it needs to be, cut down the pipe, drill our hole, and we'll see how it lines up. All right, guys, so the seat latch fits in there now, and I'll show you this slips over perfectly. That's exactly where I'll have it sit. I can tack it down the bottom, run a nice bead around here, welding, and then I'll be able to get it from the other side too, all the way around the rim, and that should be super solid. I'm actually happy that this piece is here. That's going to be like a reinforcement, because this is holding the whole seat and rear fenders down, and when you're hitting jumps and stuff, we want that to be solid. So I'm going to go ahead and probably cut this right about here, and then we will drill our hole, make sure everything lines up, and then we'll get to welding. Using a pair of calipers, how far up that hole is. Give these holes a little countersink, make them look nice. All right, now before we spend any time cutting this thing down, let's make sure the pin fits through. Oh yeah, perfect. Whew, that was close. Now I'm gonna mark where this cut's gonna be with this hacksaw, because what I want to do is clean up the area before I cut this off, because it's going to be a lot easier to manage while there's still this extra length here. We'll take our 3M wheel, just clean this thing up. That should be good. I just want to make sure our metal is going to be nice and clean for when we weld. Now, I could get the bandsaw out, but honestly, for one pipe, I might as well just do it with the hacksaw. All right, we'll do one more test fit before we weld. Looks like it's gonna fit good. Pin will go through like that, and then it clips over like that so it can't fall out. So once we weld that in place, that'll be really solid. All right, guys, check it out. Got all my edges smooth, rounded. I sanded the whole top, so we'll have good adhesion with the bed liner. Jamming out right now. So I think it looks pretty good. I'm gonna throw it back on the side-by-side just to see what it looks like. And I want to mark the 2 holes for the back 2 clamps. Even though we don't have them, I can just not run this middle clamp and move it around in the back to mark where the holes are so that we can drill them, paint this thing, and it'll be ready to rock and roll as soon as the clamps come in. All right, there it is, guys. I think it looks pretty good. It just decided it wanted to start raining, so I real quick measured up these holes on both sides. I'll show you. The clamp is on the other side. You can see how the contour of this roof goes. I think it looks good. When it's black, it's gonna look awesome. You see I just placed this one clamp on here. It's the clamp that's gonna go in the middle up front. But like I said, once those clamps come in, we'll be able to just throw this thing on. So I'm gonna pull it off. I wanna countersink the holes up from the top. And unfortunately, I don't know if we'll be able to do any painting tonight, because I really wanted to paint that outside. It's a pretty big thing. Maybe we can paint it here if we throw down a bunch of drop cloths and put it on the sawhorses. Let's see. I want to get this off though before it starts pouring. All right, now I'm going to countersink all of these bolt holes. I already went and did this one. The whole idea is so that we can use a flat top bolt. I'm not using these in specific. I'm going to have to go buy the bolts because I don't have the right size in flat top. But this way, the hardware will be flush on the roof. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these. Basically just use a countersink tool, and we'll go around and get all these bolt holes. One last look before we paint this thing. I have a whole bunch of drop cloths out. I think we should be okay. The bed liner stuff doesn't really, it's pretty controllable because it's thick. It doesn't like spray all over the place. I just got done washing it off and it looks pretty good. I think we're ready to go. This is the bottom end. So we'll go ahead and give it a spray. And the stuff we're going to use is this Rust-Oleum truck bed liner. I've used this before. It's pretty heavy duty and it goes on really nicely. So this should make it look nice.
Alright guys, we are back with the 250R, and right here I'm laying down a couple quick tack welds with the pin and the rubber grommets in place to make sure we have everything lining up correctly.
Alright, I've got it tacked in place. Now I can take these rubber grommets out, take the plate off, and we'll finish up the weld. Alright, so we got those grommets out, and I wanted to show you guys what it looks like at the top. You can see that pipe in there, so we'll be able to lay a nice little weld on the inside here and make that super solid. Whew. Definitely not one of my prouder welding moments. That steel pipe is galvanized and it was off-gassing on this side over here. And I tried to pile it up a little bit to get rid of some of the bubbles. And it should be strong. The underside kind of looks similar. So I'm gonna grind that down and run a drill bit through here so that our hole is nice and perfect. When it's done, it'll look good. Alright, well it definitely looks better than it did. But as long as it's strong, that's really all that matters. And it's on a spot that's not really going to be seen anyway. And here's a look at the underside. Again, ugly weld. I think any dreams I had of being a professional welder, I can just completely kiss those goodbye. I did run the drill through here because the weld had blocked up the hole. We're good to go now. Everything is really solid. I'm sure that's going to hold up. It's just not the prettiest. But you know what? I think that's a solid mod. It's someplace we're not going to see it, and I'm happy with it.
One last demonstration just to show you what we took care of today. This is for our seat latch. You can see it fits in there nicely. Pin goes in like that, folds around. And now we'll have nice, tight seat. We don't have to worry about it ripping off when we're going over jumps. And back to the Maverick. After putting on 3 coats of that bed liner on both sides of the roof, we're ready to put it on and see what it looks like.
Alright guys, so here she is. Oh my gosh. Oh, it looks amazing. Definitely looking better than before. That is for sure. You can see the contour in the back goes with the roll cage. Definitely gonna look nice. Like I said, just we're waiting for these back brackets to populate these holes, and that'll bring this down just a little bit. But you get the idea. I used all stainless steel hardware in here with nylocks so they don't vibrate loose, because that's definitely an issue with off-roading, any kind of racing really, is you have vibrations. So yeah.
All right, guys, so I think we did pretty good today. We got the roof on the Can-Am. We got that pin-style seat latch all done for the 250R. The roof for the Can-Am took me about 6 hours. I would say that it's definitely worth it. I went to looking at what those roofs go for. A nice solid plastic roof is between $400 and $500, at least from what I could find. Some of them are actually more expensive than that, and that is super heavy duty plastic. I did measure it. It is 3/8 of an inch thick, and it's solid plastic. I was talking with my pop. He said a PVC place can usually make those, like a plastic distributor. They will sell you sheets of plastic just like that in any color. But I didn't actually pick this one up myself. I've already gotten a couple DMs because I posted pictures of this on my Instagram. People asking where to get that plastic sheet from, and it may or may not be expensive. I really don't know. I have a feeling it's kind of on the expensive side, but you could definitely look into that. If I can find something more solid on that, I'll put it in the link. I'll link something in the description below or put some information down there. Otherwise, we just had those clamps. I will put a link to those clamps down in the description, those aluminum 2-inch clamps. Those are really nice, and they come in other sizes too, so if you're not doing something on a Maverick with a 2-inch roll cage, you could use them for something else. Otherwise, we just had some stainless steel hardware. So all in all, for me, it was about $40, including the hardware, the 2 clamps that I needed to get extra, and this truck bed liner. I think that was $8 a can. We went through 2 cans of that. So yeah, man, that's very inexpensive. It worked out perfectly for me. I'm really happy with the way it looks. You guys let me know in the comment section below what you think of that roof, if you think that's an improvement over that big square piece that was on there from before. Pin style seat latch came out really nice too. I think that's going to be really solid. Once that frame gets powder coated, we're going to be in good shape, man. So what's going on with the powder coating and stuff? We're going through this coronavirus stuff, man. I know we're all going through it, so it's a pain in the ass. And unfortunately, I don't think I can get anything powder coated unless I can find somebody else to do it. But the company that I want to do it is kind of a company that has a really good reputation, and I'd rather wait for them than maybe finding another place that's open. So we're going to see what's going on with that. I have some parts coming for the rest of the bottom end of the 250R. When those parts come in, we'll be able to continue that. But until then, guys, we can do some work on the Can-Am, and we might even bust out the YZ125 that's in the basement. I haven't really mentioned too much about that, but I did get a YZ125 probably over 6 months ago from a subscriber. It was given to me. It's in bins, literally. It's a complete basket case, but it's complete. I believe it's a 2001 YZ125, so maybe we'll start going through that. I will definitely have content for you though, guys. So that's what's going on with Project 250R. And I will see you guys in the next video. Hope you're having a great weekend. I love all you guys. Stay safe, stay clean, definitely stay virus free, and we're going to get through this together, guys. I love you all. Peace out.